Hello from Romsey and welcome to Inside Out. Here's what's coming up tonight.
Just making sure. Can't see anything.
We're undercover at a mail handling company with a nasty habit of binning its customers' letters.
The letters and things that people write in and stuff, it's quite sad really, I do find it.
And we've got surprises for some of the people who wrote them.
Where did you get this?
Oh, I do recognise this actually. To all the managers and staff at Vital Nature, thank you all so much for the lovely news I received with my order, informing me and my family that I had finally won this wonderful cheque.
So how do we get the customers' voices heard? And as my number was the winning number, I'm hoping you mean to pay me. And what can the law do to stop a Hampshire company ripping off pensioners across the country?
It says in the letter quite categorically that if you have the allocation number which they have sent you, then you have irrefutably won that prize. Not that you may win it, you have actually won it, and that they've actually pulled it out and they're waiting for you to send in your order so that they can send the cheque within 48 hours.
I thought, well, it's his money. You don't want to stop your father from spending his own money, you know, and it was just, it's been an exhausting year really, because I didn't want him to be scammed.
I'm John Cuthill and this is Inside Out for the South of England. This is Mrs. Joan Watkins. She lives in a council flat on a pension. And for the past 6 months, she's spent hundreds of pounds chasing a prize that doesn't exist.
You have indeed won the unique prize in play, a cheque for over £130,000. For years we've been trying to save up for a mortgage, but we don't get that far. And I thought, well, that will help. The boys could get their new car out of it. You know, it would help them. So that's what I've done it for, really.
She bought health and beauty products from a mail order company, which made her believe if she placed orders with them, she'd win more than £130,000.
I'm careful, really, because I've only got my pension. And I thought, well, it's a name and they've got an address and they're sending the stuff. So how can it be a scam?
She wrote to the address in Hampshire asking when her cheque would arrive. She never got a reply. What she did get was more posts requesting more orders and promising prizes.
Look at the state of the settee, and down in this corner.
Meet Hilda and Keith Birtwhistle, who live on their pensions in a council bungalow.
It's got out of hand by a great amount.
In the past 5 years, Hilda has spent more than £16,000 also chasing a prize she would never get.
She's emptied a bank account twice.
He's cut my card up.
I didn't trust her with the chequebook. I have to hide those around the house, because she'll just fill them in and send them.
Hilda, too, bought a whole range of soaps and potions because she was convinced she was the sole winner of the £130,000 prize. The house is now full of products they don't need.
Look at that, 2, 4, 6, 7 bottles of the same stuff over there. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. One she's using 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 more there.
Hilda is often up at 3 o'clock in the morning filling forms, and she's been sending orders several times a week. But being caught up in this scam has not just emptied their bank accounts, it's having a dramatic effect on their relationship.
Arguing, forever falling out. She's been in tears because I can keep it up longer than she can. And each of us threatening to go. It's really tearing at people, and I can understand these elderly people. It's really broke us apart.
In one of her recent letters to the company, Hilda apologised that she wasn't able to place an order as she spent all her savings, but she said she still hadn't received any prize money. The only answer she got was once again more posts requesting more orders and promising prizes.
That lady there, does she look happy? And that's the one that they give the hour of the cheque to.
We've uncovered evidence showing while cheques are cashed and orders processed, Letters like those written by Mrs. Watkins and Mrs. Birtwistle chasing up promised winnings are routinely thrown away unread.
How much longer do we have before you pay this winning money out?
You keep stating that if I send an order, a cheque will be sent to me.
I am sorry my order is not larger.
Nothing happens.
The letters telling pensioners they're guaranteed winners come from a group of Belgian and French-owned companies. This year, Belgian courts told one of those companies, Vital Beauty, that it would be fined for every false prize-winning promise it sent out, and faced with that threat, Vital Beauty shut down its UK operation. Almost immediately, though, Vital Nature, owned by the same group, sprang up with exactly the same marketing techniques.
What we see across many crime types in the National Fraud Intelligence Bureau when we're analysing the crimes that come through our door is that people that offer a service from the UK, so companies that allege themselves as being based in the UK through the use of a particular mail sending service, or an accommodation address, for example, or a letter that has a UK phone number on it, always offers that air of we can trust this company. Perhaps it's not a danger to invest in, or it's not a danger to do business with. So it offers that air of legitimacy to the UK customer. And of course, it's not until you look further into that that you actually find that on a lot of occasions they hide behind that as an air of legitimacy. And in fact, they're based overseas, and they're certainly not as legitimate as you might think they are on first read of it.
And that's where Emery Ltd of Romsey comes in. Emery laid off people when Vital Beauty closed, but started employing them again when Vital Nature went into business.
Well, they're clearly not reading their letters. Time to give them a voice. Dear friends, I enclose my order check and forms. Hope you can read my order, as I'm now 90 years old last June, but I'm in a wheelchair, can't walk, had 2 heart attacks, I'm a diabetic, got angina, and very lonely now.
Our loudhailer is going down a storm. Neighbouring businesses are happy to listen to letters from confused customers, which is more than can be said for Emery here in Romsey.
And pay for some treatment which will help me walk again.
One employee whose job it was to bin these letters was so appalled at the part a UK business plays in this deception that she went undercover with a camera to show what happens.
Just making sure. Can't see anything.
Emery Ltd is the British hub for a whole range of companies ultimately owned by a man named Stefan Alec.
Vital Nature, My Shop in Gourmet, Gourmet Moments, Elisa Jewels.
All make people believe they've won big bucks. All you have to do is place an order, and thousands do just that.
The letters and things that people write in and stuff, it's quite sad, really. I do find it.
You only got to take it to heart because, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got a job.
In Yorkshire, disabled John Chappell cares for his 88-year-old blind mother. They've been inundated with prize promise letters.
It says in the letter quite categorically that if you have the allocation number which they have sent you, then you have irrefutably won that prize. I think the first one was for 148,000. Then the second one was for 135,385 pence. Then the other one was for 44,000, and it's so on and so on and so forth. Not that you may win it, you have actually won it, and that they've actually pulled it out, and they're waiting for you to send in your order so that they can send the cheque within 48 hours.
They've ended up with drawers full of products they don't need, many from Vital Nature.
That is extra strength lutein, and
pills and potions aimed at the frail and elderly are stacked in boxes in every room.
These are glucosamine. It's for your fitness and for your bones.
They post back order after order as soon as the prize letters arrive, desperate to follow the rules and receive the promised cheques.
God, you're talking about 3 and 4 a day. I mean, the Barclaycard I was told, which we have now stocked, was £7,735 this month.
John is a retired West Yorkshire policeman, but he still sent off dangerous personal details to confirm his win.
They insist on some form of identification. So there we have a copy of the passport which has been sent to them. Also, they require a photograph of you to be used on their publication when you've won it and everything. It's a bit like if you're a drug addict. They feed you with so much that you've won it, and there's only one more step. So you do that one more step, then you do it again. And then at one point, my mother says, well, I said, well, let's knock it on the head. And she says, no, because you're going to lose it. They also require a smaller of it to make sure it's the same person. Not only has it cost us in money, but it's also cost us in inks, which has worked out about £80 a week. It's also cost us in stamps, which has worked out about £17 a week. You know, it's all over and above, you know, but I'd do anything for it, you see. When you came, it hurt to know that I'd been scammed. But on the other hand, I felt relieved that I wasn't going to shell out any more money on a hide into nothing.
When you go so far of being paid and you've been convinced, you think, well, I'll lose that money now. You might as well go to the time's end, but still thinking that you'll get it at the end, but obviously the frauds.
In London, the cupboards are all but bare. Jimmy has borrowed from 2 loan sharks to try to claim the cheques he was told were definitely his.
And this is just a little bit, is it? You got
just a little bit of loads of them.
How much have you got at your house?
He's bought boxes and boxes of goods because that's what he thought he had to do to get his prize.
20 boxes.
He's now paying back £130 a week on debts, leaving him just 30 quid a week to live on.
But why are you ordering stuff you don't need?
Unless you send an order, then they said you wouldn't get anything.
My partner kept saying to me, oh, I know it's true, everything's going to be all right. And he believed in it. He believed in it until I turned and told him. Even my daughters told him, you know, you're wasting your money on it. But Jimmy just wouldn't have it. Jimmy thought they were right and we were wrong.
Can I show you something?
Yeah, I can do, John.
You might recognise that.
Oh, I do recognise this actually. To all the managers and staff at Vital Nature, thank you all so much for the lovely news I received with my order, informing me and my family that I had finally won this wonderful cheque. This is the most wonderful thing that has ever happened to me and my family. This will be life-changing for us in this time of depression and the cost of the living. I can't thank you all enough, and it's all down to your beautiful company, Vital Nature. To me, and I hope it still going to TV, it's not a big scam. And I'm just one of the silly people that kept doing it. I was told by Mary and all, she told me to stop doing them. And that was it. And then a lot of other people did, but I still carried on. I thought somewhere along the line, someone's got to be right.
Number 1.
Like hundreds of others, Jimmy and Mary struggled to cope with daily posts suggesting that all they had to do was place one more order to get their prize.
Was the letters they continually sent, and instead of sending one every month or whatever, it was every other day. And I was getting fed up with the letters, and I told him, please, Jimmy, stop. They're using you. They're using us for their conveniences, and we're not going to get nothing. And I'm right. All along, I'm right. And he wouldn't have it. He kept saying, no, 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 no. They didn't do these things. He wouldn't be in debt like he is. And thank God I'm around that I can help him out of his troubles. Because otherwise he'd end up nowhere.
If we can just show you some.
Near Bridgend in Wales, another family called in trading standards.
So my dad has paid £20 per item for this, believing he was going to win a big cheque for £20,000.
They discovered their father had bought rooms full of products, many of them with foreign labels he couldn't even understand, and all because he was told he was a guaranteed winner.
Initially, I thought perhaps my father had dementia or something, because none of it was making sense to me. But now I've read all the information, I can see he was brainwashed. He was brainwashed into believing that he'd won this money, I can't understand how it's not illegal. To me, from a marketing point of view, they tell you the marketing is just, it looks illegal, and the products are just a load of rubbish, and I just can't understand why something can't be done about it, really. He bought the products believing he'd won a competition, and you know, the letters were convincing, I have to say. I've read the letters, and I had to read them quite a few times, and to be honest, if I hadn't read online that it was a scam, it was very difficult to find in the letter that he hadn't won. You read the letter and you really think he's won. It's been exhausting, absolutely exhausting. I feel guilty because I didn't pick it up sooner. And as I said, I did pick it up a year ago, and I really tried, but I thought, well, it's his money. You know, you don't want to stop your father from spending his own money, you know, and it was just, it's been an exhausting year, really, because I didn't want him to be scammed, you know, and like I said, scam is too small a word, really. It's sort of, they should be prosecuted, they should be jailed. It's just, I can't explain really how I feel. And this is actually the first time I've cried because I think I've been so angry. I just, and I don't want my father to feel, I'm not angry towards my father because he's a lovely, kind man.
It would make my life a lot easier if we could just sort of push a button and stop this. It really would. I think because this is an international, or certainly a European sort of scam, it requires an involvement of higher bodies, perhaps than trading standards. Hence why the Office of Fair Trading got involved recently in a case against a similar business. We will do, on a local level, some research into whether there are any links into that business, but ultimately I think this is action that needs to be taken at a higher level from bodies such as the Office of Fair Trading, and we'll do whatever we can to not only support Mr Davis but to support the Office of Fair Trading as well.
All these letters came from the whistleblower who worked at Emery in Hampshire. She became suspicious when reading letters from so many people who thought they were winners.
Thank you so much for your letter received today, confirming that I've actually won.
I'm 87 years old, live alone, as I lost my dear wife 7 years ago.
I'm ordering as much as 3 times a week. That's a lot on a pension.
I don't want to lose this money when you say I have won.
So I was able to keep up with vital nature.
Just a note to tell you, I got a letter today, and as I truly think, this was my winning cheque.
Happiness.
But no.
You say if I return your documents and give you even more money, that this handsome prize will be sent to me in a few days.
When I first started working there and opening these letters, I'm thinking, wow, several of people have won. I mean, it had me convinced, and I just couldn't understand how all these people have won. And the more I opened, I'm thinking, this can't be right. It can't be that everyone's a winner. And obviously they're not. None of them are.
Her job was to take out cheques, process further orders and bin the rest, including photographs that had been asked for to publicise non-existent wins. Instead of binning them, she managed to sneak some out to prove the extent of the deceit.
Big old bonfire. People sort of confused, generally asking about their, the prize, why haven't they got it yet? A lot of people say they really need the money, but and sort of asking about it, and all these I have to throw away.
I am delighted to win. Many thanks to all vital nature. I shall be delighted when I can pay the first cheque into my bank. I've had financial problems now for many years.
How do you feel when you read some of these letters?
Oh, it's heartbreaking. Really, really is. I just, sometimes I get too bogged down in it and have to sort of put them all to one side and just bring them back. If I'm reading them all, I just sort of can't concentrate on what I'm doing. They're all real life stories.
Place your money back, that's that.
Yeah.
This is Jessica Look, a victim of the trickery facilitated by Emery in Romsey.
Sticker here if you've been specially selected to receive one, and I've been selected to receive it.
She's since passed away, but her daughter Marilyn runs a campaign to put an end to mail order scams. Together, we looked at just a handful of letters.
Dear friends, I enclose my order check and forms. I hope you can read my order. I don't see anyone as I'm at the end of the lane, so I look forward to getting the cheque from you. I will buy a little dog and pay for some treatment to help me walk so I can use my left arm. I'll just keep my fingers crossed. Yours sincerely. God, isn't that horrible? That's awful, isn't it? How can they do it? Here is just some of the mail that my mother's been receiving.
Marilyn has spoken to thousands of victims who, like her mother, truly believe they'd been singled out to win a cash prize.
Everyone is asking for money. In their mind, there's still this chance that it's going to come. So if you pull out, it's definitely not going to come. So you've got to keep going along with it. And the bait and the carrots that they use, like the phone calls, and the more the letters come, they're more exciting. You're special, you're important. Somebody sat at a typewriter, they think writing these letters, that they don't understand mass marketing fraud.
Joan Watkins was one of those who wrote chasing her prize money, this time to mail order company Fiderma via, you guessed it, Emery in Hampshire.
Every time I've got one, I've replied to it and I've had an order and I've done what they told, put the sticker on the order form. You know, you have to put it on the order form. And I've done exactly what they said, you know. And I said, I've got nothing right from the start, really. My son, he said to me, Mum, he said, you spent too much. He said, it's not worth it. He said, it's not worth it. He said, because he said all along he thought it was a scam, but because I didn't believe it.
Now for a surprise. We've got the letter she wrote.
Yeah, I sent this. Where did you get this? Dear sir or madam, it is getting that I am ordering as much as 3 times a week. That's a lot. Well, I was definitely not ordering no more. That's finished me, seeing as you've got hold of the letter. So, I mean, that should have gone to Fiderma. That's made me angry. That really has. It's no point in me putting the anger on paper because they'll not get it. To think that I sat here and sent it to them and that's what they do with it. You know, it's not on.
Time to go after the bad guys. Because remember, many of the mail order companies are owned by the same person, a wealthy Frenchman who needs a UK-based postal address in order to operate. That's where Emery comes in, based in Romsey in Hampshire and owned by Nick and David Gebbett. You might know David if you're a member of the Royal Southampton Yacht Club or the Royal Southern Yacht Club based in Hamble. You see, he's a very keen sailor. He's got a yacht thing over there and he lives within spitting distance of this marina. Oh, that's when he's not swanning around New Zealand for 6 months of the year. His son, Nick Gebbett, lives in Norfolk. He's into skiing and also tweeting. His latest tweet, pretty dull, something about taking a cat to the vet, hope the cat gets better, but nothing about running a company involved in a mass marketing scam. While their customers may be left all at sea, the Gebbetts appear to be riding high on a wave of success. Here's Dad David, who often pops in for a chat at the company. And here's his son Nick, who appears to be in charge. He keeps a much lower profile, not the best photo.
I think on many occasions you find that could be the scenario where that company in the middle that provides the, on the face of it, legitimate UK service have the guilty knowledge behind it that they are actually operating at the front end or at the middle of a fraud.
It's been going on for many years, so I mean, I left probably about 7 years ago, and it's still been going on since then. I think everybody that works there knows what's going on. Everybody. I mean, the amount of times that the trading standards have came round and other people that have complained about it, they must know. I don't think there's any way that they wouldn't know.
I would urge, if there's any proof of that guilty knowledge, to make that available to the likes of the National Fraud Intelligence Bureau that can put it together with the rest of the pieces of what appears to be a horrific crime that's taken people for their life savings in some cases, and that can be the key that opens our door to being able to effectively detect and take enforcement action against people that are the perpetrators of this truly horrible crime.
While they throw away most letters they receive, Nick Gebbett did read the one we sent him. He replied they'd only answer our questions with a statement if we used it in full and unedited. Obviously, we want to hear their side of the story, but we can't go giving promises like that to anyone. But I still needed to know why they thought it was okay to do the dirty work for a French scammer. And what were the chances of that? I managed to bump into David Gebbett at his waterside home.
Mr. Gebbett?
Yeah.
It's John Cuthill from BBC Inside Out. Can I just ask why your company continues to cash cheques of vulnerable people? You know what's going on, don't you?
I can't answer any questions. We have sent a statement to you, and that's all there is to it.
But your staff have been instructed to shred their letters. That's not very good customer service.
I can't comment on that.
Why don't you tell them what's happening? Why do you continue to have dealings with the company which is clearly ripping these people off?
I can't comment on that. I'm sorry. I have to go.
What do you say to these people who are taken for a ride by this company? And you could stop it happening. Your company could stop it happening.
If we did, some other company would do it.
But that doesn't make it right. You've got nothing to say to these people at all. Surely you owe them something, Mr. Gebbett. Well, there we go. His reply, no comment, but if they didn't do it, someone else would. Does that make it right, though?
Thank you for the exciting news of a large cheque win. I am really excited to think this lovely prize is soon to be mine. I have been so poorly lately, and I will be able to get help and care. I hope you will accept the order you will receive on Monday morning as the one to accept my prize.
The National Fraud Intelligence Bureau has asked to see our evidence. They say they're keen to take action against any companies that operate to deceive members of the public.
We're closing in on you, whether you be in the UK, whether you be operating for somebody outside of the UK, and we do what we can for members of our community, members of our society, to stop them becoming victims of your greed and your criminality.
And as my number was the winning number, I'm hoping you mean to pay me. At this moment in time, I'm living on just that, hope. I think our work here is done. I think we've truly given them a voice. Now, don't forget, the advice from Action Fraud is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if you think you've been scammed, then drop me an email, john.cuthill@bbc.co.uk, and I promise we do read every single one. We don't throw them away. I'll see you next week.